And here we go. So everybody, welcome to the New Player Resources Showcase. So we're going to go down a list here of, we have some fantastic representatives from some of the best resources we have in EVE for new players. Who do we have for the Flight Academy videos? Of course, we know.
Hi everyone, I'm CCP Mimic and I am a development producer at CCP Games that works on EVE Online, and I'm here to talk about the EVE Flight Academy videos.
Fantastic. And who do we have from Women Gamers of EVE?
That would be me. I'm Elizabeth. I'm one of the moderators of the channel.
Fantastic.
And Compton Aberforth as well.
Lovely.
We dragged her out of bed.
Fantastic. Who do we have from Spectre Fleet?
This is Eliza Serafino from Spectre Fleet, and Jane should be here as well.
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Lovely. Do we have a representative from E-Uni Public Classes? Okay, apparently E-Uni has missed this one. That's a shame. Do we have anyone from Angel Project among us?
Hi, I'm Zindel Pelian, and I run the Angel Project.
Lovely. Warp to Me Incursions. I'm seeing Spartak here, but I'm not hearing his voice.
I'm Spartan93 from Warp to Me Incursions.
There we go.
It helps if you turn the mic on.
It does tend to do that, yes. Who do we have from Rapid Withdrawal?
That'd be me, Tech Stalker mate.
Lovely. Agony Unleashed, you're here?
Hi, I'm Yatkovian Bedek. I'm the CEO of Agony Unleashed.
Redemption Road is here.
I'm Grey Gal, the CEO and founder of Redemption Road and the Redemption Realms NPSI community.
Lovely. And Broadcast for Reps, who is representing them?
I am Emma Ondelalon. I am head admin for Broadcast for Reps and Spam for Heals.
Lovely. So we're mostly all here. Why don't we start with a quick go around on what your resource is, how new players can access it. Give us a short speech of a few minutes. Why don't we start with CCP Mimic and Flight Academy videos?
Okay, the EVE Flight Academy videos are short tutorial videos about some of the basic mechanics in EVE. We've only just started up this library, and you can either watch them on the YouTube channel, which is the EVE Flight Academy YouTube channel, or you can get them in-game by pressing F12 through the help video, and there's a tab for all the tutorial videos, and all of them come with German, English, French, or Russian subtitles. So if you want them, that's where they are.
Lovely. And what sort of subjects do these videos cover?
Well, there's a lot of stuff just about your account, how to manage your API, some of the terms that you would come across when joining a corporation, or what to look for when trying to leave a corporation, what the differences between an NPC and a player joined one are, and then also some specific things, for example, the types of timers that can occur while you're flying through, what a sessions change timer is, or what happens when you become a suspect. We also are then we continually working on them, and we're going to be introducing more things, for example, about the market, or about more advanced types of wormhole exploration, things like that.
Right, so basically most of the things you do in EVE, you can find information about them, or will be able to in the future, in these videos.
That's the plan. But the thing to remember is that these aren't about how to do something the best possible way. This is just to give you a very basic understanding of how something works. The thing with EVE is it's all about discovering what you enjoy and what you can set yourself to master. That's pretty much the point of the game, is mastering different aspects of it. And so these just give you a basic understanding of the mechanics behind it, and then we send you on your way and off you go to discover for yourself.
Right, so it's a baby's first introduction sort of thing.
Almost, yes. Some of it does cover more advanced subjects, for example, sovereignty and the activity defense multipliers, which is something that you wouldn't come across as a brand new player, but it does just give you a basic overview of how things work so that you can spend more of your time on besting other people rather than just battling with the game itself.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Are there any questions from the audience about these tutorial videos? I cannot see anyone in any chat channels. So, we will be moving on then to Women Gamers of Eve. Elizabeth, you...
Hi.
Yeah.
I
Why don't
guess
you
it'll
tell
be
us a
me
bit
and
about
not
yourself?
Crompton. Okay, so the Women Gamers of Eve was founded over a decade ago. It's essentially a channel for females that play the game. Statistically speaking, about 4% of the EVE player base is female, which is statistically wise more skewed than games like Halo or Call of Duty. So we've noticed that girls that play EVE that can get a social network outside of the kind of locker room mentality that you can find in some of the parts of EVE Online will generally enjoy the game and stay longer.
Right, so what is it exactly that you do in this community? Is it basically just a chat channel? Do you do common fleets, etc.?
It is just a chat channel. We have tried to do common fleets. However, that's made difficult by the fact that we have a lot of different people from a lot of different alliances in EVE Online. So getting a roam through a certain region of space usually means that somebody's going to be shooting their friends. Crompton can maybe go on more detail about some of the other things we do. If she's
I'd
still
love
awake.
To. She is. Sorry. With Women Gamers of Eve, really it is just a community for women. And we would love to be able to set up all female roams and support other people who want to set up female roams. But really it's just a place for ladies to come. And we always say just leave your baggage at the door, because our members might be at war with each other, and it's just come in, have a chat, take the weight off your feet, and leave again when you want to. So really that is all it is. It's a social outlet in the community for ladies.
Right, because as far as I understand it, as a man myself, women tend to find that the community is very male-centric and, well, not always friendly to women. So this is a place where you can come for safety and common interests kind of thing. Am I correct?
Well, safety is... Look, for different people, it's different things. Some people don't have a problem with the male community, and some people do. And regardless of why you want to be in there, it is a lovely place for you just to catch up with other women. Some people walk and go, hey, I didn't even know there were other women playing this game, and it's been fabulous to find you. Some of the ladies in the room have amazing knowledge of the game, and you can ask them anything you like, and they'll be able to help you to work out how to shoot someone. All of those things that you don't know when you first join the game and you don't know who to ask. For some people, they don't want to speak up in a chat room because it's full of males and they're just a bit intimidated at first maybe. So they might come and ask us. And I think over time, they do generally toddle off and join all of these corporations and other people to assimilate in the game, but it's just a starting place where they can come and maybe they don't feel as intimidated as they might otherwise. But as I said, some ladies have no issue at all, and their male corp leaders actually point them in our direction.
Right. Lovely. Are there any questions to the Women Gamers of Eve from any of these chat channels we have here? Apart from, and I share this, the surprise that there's only 4% women in Eve.
It's an exceedingly low number, so a lot of people have made, I don't know, jokes about why women need their own channel. Well, that's why.
Well, why do you think that is?
God, I really don't know. I really don't.
You know what's funny about that? I was running an incursion fleet yesterday, where 25% of the fleet was women.
It happens. There are women that play Eve from all over the game styles, from alliance leaderships to diplomats to miners to mission runners to incursions. So there are women all over the place. It's not like they're clustered in only one specific game style, but there's just not a lot of them.
Right, so where can people go to access the community? Is there a chat channel, a web page?
Right, so at right now there's a public channel called Women Gamers Public, 3 words, no apostrophe. And essentially, if someone's interested in Women Gamers of Eve, if they meet the criteria, they can come there and ask for an interview. We do a voice interview to make sure that they're not some guy with a voice modulator. And following that, we give them an invite to the main channel, which is private and closed.
Right, lovely. Are there any other questions? None that I can see. Okay, then I think we will be moving on to Broadcast for Reps. Who's representing them again?
Emma.
Thank you. Go ahead.
All right, I'm sorry. Broadcast for Reps was started as a response to brave newbies losing a valued member of their teaching staff, John Bellicos. And so brave newbies decided enough was enough. They were done losing friends to suicide and depression. And so they started the channel Broadcast for Reps. I can link that here. And they took it upon themselves to say, if anybody's having any problems, any issues, no matter what, no matter where you come from in Eve, come and talk to us. If you have nobody else to talk to a friend, talk to a courtmate, talk to anybody, because they were tired of losing friends to suicide and depression. So from there, it has grown to include members of all across Eve. We have members from Brave, Goon Swarm, High Sec, Low Sec, Wormholes, Code even. We have members from every walk of life in Eve. And it doesn't matter where you come from or what you do, but we love to have you in there, and we just chat in there. You can chat in public if you want to talk to multiple people, or you can just talk to somebody in private. From there, we have actually expanded some, and we now have our own Discord channel that you can get to through our channel, or if you're having issues and you're not logged into Eve, you can always talk to somebody when you need to. And it's not only limited to just Discord and in-game. There are initiatives going on Twitter, the hashtag Broadcast for Reps, on Reddit. If you ever need support or advice or know what to do, you can go there, or even there's a link on the sidebar for advice and phone numbers if you need them. And Facebook, on the Facebook page is for Broadcast for Reps. There are hashtags of Broadcast for Reps if you're on one of the public Eve pages to broadcast and say, hey, I need some help. Everybody goes through or knows somebody who goes through a point where they need help. And this is a way that people can anonymously go and do this without having to go and tell their family, tell their friends, hey, I'm really struggling. This is a way to anonymously do this where I don't know where else to go. Okay, let me try this. And we will talk to anybody and do everything we can to help you.
Right. Personally, I'd like to say applausions for this fantastic initiative. It is a very good thing. Where can people access this? You mentioned a chat channel. I know you linked it, but for the people listening in later, can you explain how to access some of these places, the web pages, the chat channels?
The chat channel is broadcast, the number 4, reps, all one word. And that is how you get to our in-game channel. And from there, there are links to everything that we everything that we have, our Discord and everything else. A website, and I'll post that in both. Coffee Rocks is actually has started an initiative known as Spam for Heals that has been incorporated in the United States as a nonprofit, where we have started to raise money to help individuals struggling to pay their bills for mental health care. There's a stream currently going on right now at twitch.tv.com/spamforheals, where we are raising money to try and support these individuals who are having issues, and I know of several on my own that are having issues affording their mental health care coverage, and this is to make it easier for them to, yes, thank you, also Slacka, to help them afford their coverage.
Right, so basically you all help as well as you can people who struggle with depression, with mental health problems, who need somebody to reach out to, somebody to pull them back on the boat.
Exactly, and it's not even limited to just having a mental illness. If you just went through a rough breakup, if you are just having a shitty day, you lost your favorite ship and you need to vent, if you just want to come and chat because you have nobody else to really go to, we're there for anything and everything you need us to be there for. We have people there 24/7, always wanting to and willing to talk to you about anything and everything. We are extremely open, but we do have people in there to keep an eye on things in case people come in there with the wrong intentions. So we do protect the people in there. We do our best to help watch over to make sure to protect the people in there as well, to make sure they don't get hazed in what we try to keep as a very open and welcoming place.
So nobody in there is going to tell you to kill yourself, for example?
If they do, they'll only say it once and then they're gone.
Very good. Thank you very much, and we wish you the best of luck, and I hope the Twitch stream goes well and that you raise a lot of money for it. And we will be moving on to Spectre Fleet.
Hello. This is Eloisa Serafina. You can call me Elo for short. I'm a member of the command team for Spectre Fleet. Spectre Fleet is the largest NPSI community in EVE, NPSI meaning not purple shoot it. We were founded in 2013, and we, while starting very small, have grown to over 8,000 active members. We are in every major time zone, and we focus on the social aspect of gaming and give people a place to hang out and fly in fleets, no matter who they're with or where they come from. We are a totally open community, so it doesn't matter who you're affiliated with. You can come sign up in the channel and fly on a fleet. While we maintain a presence in multiple games, EVE Online, of course, is our main focus. We're run by approximately 150 volunteers who give their free time to make sure that we offer a wide range of fleets and other activities, and a structure so that people can come in and just experience whatever kind of EVE they are curious about.
And this is open to anyone, yes?
That's correct. We've linked our public channel in the chat. It's called Spectre Fleet, SPECTRE, Space Fleet. You join that channel, you'll see in our message of the day all of our upcoming activities that have been planned in advance, and you can join any fleet that's currently up.
And there's no limitations on skill points, on races, on ships you can fly, modules you can fit, that sort of thing. Anybody can join from anywhere.
That is correct. You can join no matter what your skill level is. Certain FCs will take out certain fleets that have specific requirements, but they'll be posted ahead of time. You'll easily be able to see and plan ahead for whatever fleet you decide to go on. You can ask questions of the FCs in the main channels and in the fleet once you join it. And because we're an open community, we are very accepting of new players. Our FCs love to teach as they go. And no matter what experience you already have or that you're seeking, you will find it in Spectre Fleet.
Fantastic. Are there any questions for Spectre Fleet from the audience here? You've explained how to join. It's open to anyone. It's basically PvP all day round, if I understood you correctly there.
That's correct. We have FCs that love to focus on everything from the hot drop to the roam to the gate camp. So no matter what you're curious about, we have something for you.
Okay, so a question here from CCP Mimic. For the very new player, you mentioned that you are not purple shooted. What does purple mean?
That's a very good question. Purple means that you are in the same fleet. So while you're in a Spectre fleet, the only people that you shouldn't be shooting are the other people in your fleet. Everybody else is fair game. And we do that, of course, so that even if you're war decked by somebody, even if you are enemies, you can come together in this fleet, put all of that aside, and go on a roam, go on a hot drop, hang out in a gate camp, and you know that you're safe there. You know that your war targets will not get at you.
So no matter if a war target is in the same fleet as you, you can be safe that he's not going to shoot you just for spite.
That's correct. If he tries, he's in big trouble.
Fantastic. Right, unless there are any other questions, I don't see any anywhere, so we will be moving on to Angel Project. Who's here from Angel Project again, because I have Butterfinger brain.
That would be me. I'm Sindel Pellion, and I created the Angel Project in 2012.
Why don't you explain exactly what the Angel Project is and what you can do for the newer players?
The Angel Project is basically a new and struggling player charity, where regardless of your affiliation or who you fly with or how long you've been playing, if you come and ask for a donation of ships or a certain amount of ISK or skill books, if you can't afford them, we have a lot of resources available. People from all over donate things that they don't want or don't need anymore, and we have volunteers who collect them and bring them to central locations, and then we hand them out. We also do things like sponsor groups and communities who work with new players, so like RVB, EVE University, Brave Newbies. We'll take ships and like donate to like their frigate free-for-alls or to specific roams that they have, so that anybody can go join these things and they don't have to be scared that they're going to lose their ship and then not have anything else to fly. That seems to be one of the biggest hurdles that new players have, is that they don't start out with a lot of ISK and they don't start out with a lot of ships, so they're scared to undock and they're scared to engage because once they lose it, they can't get it back.
Because of the first rule of EVE, yes. So,
as you guys are wondering, it's don't fly what you can't afford to lose. I always say do not fly what you cannot afford to replace.
Thank you. You took the words out of my mouth. So how do people access this? How can the Newbros get access to these free ships, ISK, skill books, these resources that you have on offer?
There is a character named the Angel Project that they can write directly to. And let me link the chat channel too. It is also the Angel Project, 3 words.
So join that chat, send a mail to that character.
Absolutely. If it's a reasonable request, we always honor it. If you say that you're a few billion short for your Titan, you're not going to get anything from us. But if it's something even extravagant, like you lost a battleship, I will not spend the money to replace, a $500 million ISK battleship. But if somebody has donated one and it's in the inventory and you specifically request it, then I will hand it over. But generally we don't give out more than 50 million liquid, and then whatever ships we have that people need.
So the limits are basically up to and around 50 million in liquid ISK, and any ships that you may have in your inventory at the time can be given out to replace a lost ship, or if somebody needs a ship for a specific purpose, like a class or a fleet or something like that.
Absolutely. The only, if you need a new Megatron, then you're clearly not a struggling player. But if you are working to get to one and you need, a couple of step-down ships just so you can learn how to fly them properly and get into fleets and, get your bearings, then we will definitely hand those over.
Okay, so send a mail to the character The Angel Project, 3 words, and you will get help in fiscal matters, is the message.
Oh, absolutely. And if you're worried that we don't have what you might need in inventory, we currently have 9,000 ships in our hangar, so chances are we will probably have what you need. We have a few tens of thousands of skill books, so whatever you are looking for before you go to spend your money on it, we are more than willing to give it to you.
Fantastic. And where is these resources given out? Is it in JITA? Is it in HEC? Is it in a faraway system? Where do people go to pick them up?
The Angel Project is currently based in Amar 8, Emperor Family Academy Station. But if, say, you're in faction warfare and you can't travel to Amar space, we will make accommodations for you. The same goes for donations. I ask that they be brought to Amar or a high-sec trading hub, just because it's easier for people to pick them up and bring them to me, but I have people drop things all over the universe. So we will try our best to get you what you need, where you need it.
Fantastic. And people can contact the same character if they wish to donate, is this correct?
Yes.
So, to the Bitter Vets of Eve, if you have a ship that you haven't used in a year, donate it to the Angel Project.
I will dust it off and hand it out.
Fantastic. Are there any questions to the Angel Project and how to get access to it, or anything you're curious about? Please ask it.
Items that you're looking looking to be donated?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Is there a list of items that you would prefer to be donated?
Originally, yes, but we've come to the point now where I never know what people are going to ask for, and they have asked for some really crazy things. So I take donations of any kind and accept them willingly. Ask me about my broken crystal collection. It is amazing.
Lovely. Hopefully, I think that is the end of the questions. Next up, we have Warp to Me incursions. Oh, wait, hang on. Sorry. One question in. Are fitted ships needed, Sindel?
I will accept fitted ships, and I do have a lot of them in our inventory. My biggest concern with that one is I don't always know where they are needed. So if they have to be transported, it can be a bit of a problem, especially if they're rigged, because I don't want to destroy them.
Another question here from Caleb. Will sponsors/donators be shown? As in, is there a list of 10 most generous donators, etc., or will somebody who receives a battleship be told this one was donated from John Smith out of Hammersmith?
It's never really been asked before. There are some people who have donated a lot to the point where I feel like they deserve to be mentioned. I received a 50 billion ISK donation from a gentleman who quit EVE last year. So, I mean, that was a big thing. But a lot of the people who donate don't want to let people know that they're actually nice. We have a bunch of Jita and Amar scammers who sit in local and do things all day that I don't approve of, and then at the end of the day they hand me a donation, I guess, to clear their conscience, and they say, please don't tell me when I gave this to you.
Seems about right. At least we get some confirmation that they have a soul.
The small one, kind of dark, but it does exist.
Fantastic. Okay, now that I've done stumbling over all the questions, we will be moving on to Warp to Me incursions for the second time. Who's representing them?
Hi, I'm Sparta. Sorry about that.
Right, so why don't you tell us a bit about Warp to Me incursions and how you can help the new players?
I used to run Warp to Me incursions. I'm retired now. We're a new player-friendly incursion community. We run high-sec incursions. There's our link to our channel. Requires battleships with T2 fittings. Basically, fleet PvE. All the details are in the MOTD. Tell the FC you're new, and they'll go over everything with you. Incursions are group PvE. You go shoot Sancha, get paid 31.5 million Iscasite and 7,000 Concord LP.
So
that's what we do. We do HQ ones.
So you run the highest level PvE possible to run in this game. Am I correct in saying that this is one of the most profitable ways of spending your time in EVE?
Other than running C6 cap escalations, yeah.
What sort of money can very Newbros expect to be getting from a day of incursioning, very first day?
If you want to run 10 hours, 1 billion ISK. Yesterday I ran fleet for about 10 hours and got 1 billion ISK. Just liquid ISK, before I even touched my LP.
That's a lot of money. So, can you give us sort of a 30-second introduction to what is it that you do in an incursion fleet? How does it work?
You fly to the incursion. You'll X up in the channel. If you join the channel, there's 400 people in it now. Assuming your ships fit right, the FC will put up a light in the channel. You'll X up, and you'll eventually get in fleet. He'll call you on grid. He'll walk you through the new guy speech. Warp to Me is very structured in the way we run our fleets. Every FC runs them basically the same. So it's pretty similar every FC. The FC will call you on grid. He'll run you through a speech. And then you'll just warp site to site. The FC will put up tags, kill everything on grid, and warp to the next site. Incursions are so old now, they've become pretty much science for everyone. I mean, I've been running them 6 years, or 5 years now. Warp to Me just turned 3. So yeah.
What sort of limitations are on the new players joining you? What does a new player have to already have to be able to join you?
We require Tech 2 invols and T2 weapon upgrades, and that's it. At a Tech 2 damage control.
So, for those who don't know, what exactly is an invol?
You need, Tech 2, basically shield mods, invulnerability fields, Tech 2 damage mods for whatever ship you fly. They're all in the MOTD. It says Warp to Me fittings here, I think.
Right, and to join this, they join the channel Warp to Me Incursions.
Warp to Me Incursions, yeah.
Fantastic. And this is a very good way for a new player to get stupendous amounts of ISK, yes?
Yes.
Fantastic. Are there any questions to Warp to Me Incursions? What kind of ship is needed to run with you guys? You mentioned battleships. Is there a specific battleship you need?
Before I tell you something wrong, I'm going to go up in the fitting. Our preferred starter battleships are the Rook, the Hyperion, the Maelstrom. That's what we prefer for Newbros starting out.
Right, and what sort of fitting requirements are needed for these ships? You mentioned Rogues, Hyperion, etc. Do you need like high fitting skills? Do you need high capacity skills?
It fits pretty easy. And if you need cap, just broadcast for it. We run a ton of Bazzies and stuff, so that you don't need the T2 guns on it. We don't allow the standard Raven. When CCP went through and tier-sided battleships, they hit the attack battleships pretty hard, and the Raven does not have the shield HP to survive a final wave of an NRF without some pretty heavy faction mods anymore.
Right, so you need to be able to fly one of the ships listed in the MOTD in your channel, and you need to be able to fit Tech 2 shield tank and Tech 2 damage upgrade, but not necessarily the guns. Have I summed it up pretty good there?
Yep. If you click the website I linked, it lists basically everything required.
Right, for the recording, I'd suggest Googling Warp to Me Incursions, and you should probably end up on your website?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And unless I see any questions in the next few seconds... No? Okay, I haven't missed anyone this time. How much
Danielle,
ISK would you make? Yeah, there we go.
We average 90 to 120 mil an hour. Somewhere right in there.
120 million ISK per hour on the average.
Yeah, 90 on the low end.
90 on the low end. What does it depend on whether you get 90 or 120?
What sites you get? If you get all TCRCs, you can make crazy money, 220-ish an hour. If you get all TPPHs, you might get 90. It depends on what sites you get.
For those not familiar with incursions, what exactly is a TPPH and TCRC?
There's three kind of sites in an HQ system. There's a True Creations Research Center, a True Power Provisional Headquarters, and a Nation Rebirth Facility. The True Creations Research Center is the hardest site. It's also the fastest. My record is, I think, 10 minutes. So if you can run a site in 10 minutes, you can make a lot more money. A TPPH takes 25 minutes. So if it takes 25 minutes to run a site, I mean, that's a long site, but you can get them done quicker. It just, TPPHs take longer. You're going to burn 100 kilometers between gates.
Fantastic. Okay, this time I'm sure I've gotten all the questions. So we will be moving on to Rapid Withdrawal and Faction Warfare. Who's representing them?
That'd be me, Tech Stalker. I'm the CEO of Rapid Withdrawal.
Fantastic. Why don't you give us an overview of what it is you do?
We are involved in the faction warfare mechanic in EVE Online. Basically, there are four factions: Mimitar, Caldari, Galente, and Amar. These factions, via in-game mechanic, are pitted in a war against each other for chains of low sec systems, which can be taken back and forth from each other. There's various benefits to taking systems, but basically it is a in-game mechanic that allows you to have a set kind of static war against another faction. So it has enemies built into it, and it is PvP, low sec PvP mostly.
Right, so it's a warfare between, say, Kaldari and Minmatar, Kaldari and Galente, and blah, so forth.
Yeah, right now it's Galente and Minmatar, or it has been, versus Kaldari and Amar. But basically, it's split up into two factions. Mostly, it's Kaldari versus Galente, and Amar versus Minmatar. But I mean, they are linked together, even though Minmatar shoots everybody. So it's good fun. It's a great way to get involved in PvP. In two ways. One, you don't need a lot of skill points to be involved. Two, the ISK required to get involved is relatively low. So the focus of our corporation is to take players that are newish to EVE, get them in some cheaper but effective ships, get them out there on grid, get some small gang PvP underneath their belt, and try to teach them to become better pilots. And that's quite rewarding. Over the 3 years of our corporation's history, we've been able to take some very new pilots and just flat out make stone cold killers out of them.
So you guys offer resources and training for new players to go directly into fighting for a faction in EVE. And this faction, am I correct in assuming that it is linked very tightly to the lore of the game?
Yes, it is. We're on the Galente, but there's a lot of corporations that are just like us that are throughout the other three factions. I guess the biggest thing is if there is a benefit to faction warfare is we fight over sites called plexes, and basically they're static PvP areas in low sec systems, and there are ship restrictions in those areas. So if you're a Newbro or a new player and you want to learn how to or you want to fight against other frigates, you can fight in a novice plex, and really no ship bigger than a frigate can take the acceleration gate. Now that doesn't protect you against getting blobbed by 50 frigates, but you can go to these areas and you can be guaranteed to fight ships of a similar size, maybe not similar fleet numbers.
So perfect for the Newbro then. He can be sure that he's not going to be facing a cruiser inside a frigate plex. And this is very different from the plex we're used to hearing about, the license extension, the game time, very expensive in-game item.
Right. There's a lot of people that have, there's pros and cons to faction warfare, but I mean, ideally for new pilots, in my opinion, it's one of the best places to come out and get your feet wet in PvP. And basically my organization or my corporation is probably smaller scale. We're about 200 pilots, but there's other Newbro corporations out there that are much bigger, that number in the thousands. But since we're on a smaller scale, you get more interaction with veteran pilots. We run fleets all the time. When we're not fleeting, we encourage guys to go out and solo and just basically cause havoc throughout low sec. We've started branching out into some wormhole PvP and making some appearances out in null sec. But I mean, the idea is PvP is fun. We're going to generate content and we're going to teach guys from a low level, get some good solid training underneath them and get them the basics of EVE, and then go ahead and let them progress in their career. Eventually, they may leave us, they may not, but in the meantime, they're having a good time.
Fantastic. And how can people access your corporation or your community?
Well, there's two ways. You can join our public channel, which I linked. Two, we live in Sudrento, which is one of the hottest areas in low sec. You can come down and contact us, or you can come down and shoot us. We don't really care either way. we enjoy being shot at. And it's like I said, come out, have fun. It's low impact, it's low risk. It's a good way for guys that are interested or gals that are interested in a PvP career in EVE to get their feet wet. Because let's face it, EVE is a complex game at times. And if you're a new player and you're entering into EVE, it can be tough to get your bearings sorted out and get pointed in the right direction. So we help with that in a fixed mechanic that's pretty easy to learn. And before you know it, you're out on your own doing your thing.
So, join Rapid Withdrawal Bar and Grill chat channel and you will get help in joining factional warfare and getting your feet wet in PvP. Are there any questions now for Rapid Withdrawal? So, in general, how would people find more about factional warfare in general? Where can you learn more about the mechanics of factional warfare without necessarily having to join your channel or your corporation? Do you have any resources for that?
You know something? We have a kind of keep it simple philosophy in the things that we do. But literally in this day and age, you can type anything into Google and get an answer. So there is a ton of great information out on the internet. CCP has good information on faction warfare. Even some of the other members of this panel, EVE Uni, they put out some guides into faction warfare. So anything you want to know about the game, it doesn't have to be just faction warfare. It's not a state secret. It's on the internet. So if you're willing to do a little reading, you can get yourself up to speed pretty quickly.
So since the Evelopedia was shut down by CCP not very long ago, I'm personally, at least, going to have to recommend the EVE University wiki. It has some good data if there is somebody who wonders about faction warfare mechanics in general. And for the specifics, join Rapid Withdrawal Bar and Grill. Any other questions about faction warfare? I see none. Yes, we have a question. As soon as it's typed out.
No worries.
Question is, why can I only buy potato from faction warfare agents? And a frowning face.
I'm assuming you mean a Dominic's Navy issue. There's a lot of faction ships you can get. Maybe that's something that we could talk about real quick since he brings it up. When you're winning complexes and taking systems, you earn loyalty points. Those loyalty points can be traded in at certain stations, and the rewards for loyalty points are modules, ship modules, or ships that you can take out and fit up for whatever you want to use them in the game for. So I guess if people are wondering how do you make ISK in faction warfare, those loyalty points convert nicely to ISK because there's a lot of people out there that like to fit some pretty shiny modules to their ships, and they also like to fly those blinged out space potatoes. But you can also use the loyalty points to also fund your own PvP. So if you're taught that mechanic properly, you can basically be self-sustaining in your PvP. And some of the ships that you get through the factions with loyalty points rewards are very effective ships.
Alright, so you use loyalty points earned from winning at these plexes. Again, this is not the in-game item, but a local site that you fight for control over.
Yes,
and
sir.
you spend those loyalty points in stores and you get special items that can be very expensive and you can sell them for lots of monies.
Yes, you can.
Fantastic.
Maybe to the tune of, if there's guys that are really motivated, I know pilots that make over $1 billion ISK a month, and this is in the active PvP. And unfortunately, if I have to say one thing that's a little disappointing for me is sitting in faction warfare plexes and running timers or running level 4 missions seems to be the best way to get loyalty points. Killing enemies of another faction is not as rewarding. It all depends on what ship they're flying. But like I said, you combine it all together, and it's pretty good mechanic.
Alrighty then. Unless there are any other questions, we will be moving on to Agony Unleashed. Who's the representative from Agony Unleashed?
I'm Kavian Bennett. I'm the CEO of Agony Unleashed.
Why don't you tell us a bit about your corporation and what you do?
So, Agony Unleashed is a small gang PvP corporation. We've been around for quite a long time, but the main sort of relevant thing that we do for newer players is we have a PvP university project. Been running since 2006 or so, so it's a pretty long-standing thing. You don't join the corporation to get involved, and we basically run classes every so often, which are open to anyone. They're entirely focused on PvP because that's what we enjoy, that's what we know about, so that's what we teach about. We have just gone through a process of completely overhauling our classes, and so we're just about to start running them again. There's been quite a gap over the last few months. We haven't run one for a while, but we actually have a class next week, which has just been announced, and it's our entry level class. So it's what we call PvP Basic. It's literally suitable for any level of experience, right down to have never done any PvP at all, and it's designed to get people up to speed, so they can feel confident about joining any other fleet, basically, in EVE, whether that's some of the NPSI community fleets or their own corporations fleets. So yeah, as I say, we just revamped it. It's much more sort of focused and sort of relevant to modern EVE, and yeah, we usually have a lot of fun. So the classes we run as well, they come with a roam, so we do a bit of teaching, and then everyone comes out on a roam, and we go around and actually do some PvP, put it all into practice. So you know, that we have plenty of people who join our classes who have never who have you know, been on them before. They don't really need the teaching aspect, but they join just because it's fun, and then we have a good time.
So what sort of focus are these classes on? I'm assuming PvP.
Yeah, entirely PvP focused. So it depends on the class. We have some specialized classes which are focused on various aspects of PvP, so something more specific. I mean, varies throughout the years what we've run, like over time, but we've done classes on Covops, we've done classes on scouting, we've done classes on, like, you know, various specific niches, I guess, of PvP, but the sort of general focus of our classes is on I guess, like a general core theme of just general fleet PvP. So we start off with a PvP basic class, which is very much focused on, you know, this is how you have fun and sort of survive in a fleet. You know, this is how you keep up and don't get lost and don't get left behind. But then it goes through more advanced information, like explaining a lot of the PvP mechanics, which are not always obvious to new players. And all these things, you know, they'll help you in solo PvP as well, and much smaller gang stuff. But the actual roams, obviously, because we have a big class, tend to be fleet-based PvP.
Right, and how do people access your classes? Where do they go looking for schedules? Who do they contact to join?
So we have a channel, Agony Public. That's more just general channel for asking questions. But we also have a website, which is agony-unleashed.com. And that is that'll basically show when there's a new class coming up. And then finally we have a in-game mailing list, which is Agony PvP Uni, 3 words. And whenever there's a new class coming up, we'll always mail everyone on that list. So there'll be a mail going out in the next day or two for our class next week. So basically that's the best way to never miss a class, is to get on our mailing list, and then you'll always get an announcement before a class is coming up. But as I say, there is a class next week. I should mention, actually, because I haven't yet, we do charge a fee for our classes. We have always done that. But because next week's class is a completely revamped one, and there's always the possibility there'll be a few kinks in the material or something, we're doing that next week for free. As I say, we normally charge, but next week it's entirely free.
What sort of fee is it usually on each class? Is it a million ISK? Is it a billion ISK? Is it...
So it's sort of between those two. It's usually about I think the fee for the PvP basic is going to be set at 30 million. However, obviously we recognise that some new players, that's a lot of ISK. So we do we have basically been sponsored by something which no longer exists, SomaBlink. A long time ago, they gave us some ISK basically to sponsor any new players who don't have the money but want to join on one of our classes. So whenever we do a class, if you're like, okay, well, I'd love to join but I don't have the ISK, then you can just say, look, is it okay if I use the sponsorship? And then it's free still. We basically charge a fee just to get a little bit of corp income out of it, because obviously we give out quite a lot of our time to run the classes.
Obviously. So basically you have opportunities for brand new players who are not space rich to still come and join your classes and get elite at PvP.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't quite go so far as to say elite, but it's definitely a great starting point. And the classes are structured in such a way that you can come to the basic one, and then there's intermediate classes, advanced classes. So even quite experienced players will usually learn something on all our classes, but there's usually something for everyone. We'll do our best to lead you, Avery, but I can't guarantee it.
So the chat channel is Agony Public and the webpage is agony-unleashed.com. Go there for information about PvP classes by some of the best PvPers in this game. I seem to remember I've seen you on more than one Alliance tournament at the very least.
Yeah, we've entered the Alliance tournament quite a number of times, and it's something we do as a corporation, and that's good fun too.
So to learn from some of the best players in EVE, go to agonyunleashed.com or join the chat channel and you'll get more information. Next up, unless there are any questions, I don't see anyone immediately. We have Redemption Road. Why don't you go ahead and explain who you are and what it is you do and how you can help the Newbros.
Hi, I'm Greg Al of Redemption Road. We are a community service corporation, and we do a lot of public events and NPSI, not purple shoot-it-roams. The highlight of what we do, though, every month is our monthly Newbro, New Player Roam, which is a roam designed specifically for players from day one up. We provide ships for that roam. It's completely free, and we take a very roles-based approach in the roam, where we kind of just do a brief little intro to flying in a fleet and explain the different roles in the fleet, how fleet moves, and so that way, even if you're only 1 day old, the next time you get in a fleet, you feel like you know what's going on, even when you don't, and you can fake it. Okay. We are also, all of our public roams are new player friendly. We will always have at least one requested ship that's appropriate for somebody who has minimal skills and minimal experience. We take a very, what's the word I'm looking for now? Sorry. Just a real simple, keep it simple. Here's the highlights of what you need to know approach to it. And we never know what's going to happen on our new player rooms. They've really taken a life of their own. They happen once a month on or around the 15th of the month. And the community, the larger EVE community, has gotten kind of like into this one game of one-upmanship to see what they will throw at the Newbro fleet each month. Like last month, Oracle got doomsdayed, just so all the new players we had in the fleet could see the effect and stuff. It was pretty cool. I have no idea what's going to happen this time. Our next Newbro roam is this Sunday, actually.
So you've got one coming up very quickly there.
Yes.
How do people join your fleets?
Our roams are announced on our website, which is redemption-road.com. They're also announced on our in-game mailing list, which is Redemption Roams, and our in-game chat room, which is Redemption Road.
So any of those three places you'll get information about the next fleet. When is it going? Where is it leaving from? What should I bring? Where can we be expected to go?
Yep, exactly. All the details are on each one of those. Our regularly scheduled public roams, of course, people bring their own ship. What's a little different about the monthly Newbro roam, is that we provide the ships for you, these T1 fit T1 frigates, and we just keep handing them out as they get exploded.
And how many people tend to turn up to these events?
Our average fleet size is right around 50. And we've actually consciously attempted to keep it around that. We don't want to get too big, because then you kind of get lost in the noise. We pride ourselves on incredibly clean comms. Our comms during our public rooms are very PG, occasionally PG-13. And you start getting too big, it becomes a little bit more challenging to keep things like that.
Fantastic. So join Redemption Roam's in-game mailing list or Redemption Road in-game chat, and you'll get information about these events, and you'll be given free ships, free information, free training, and loads of fun, and some of the biggest entities in the game trying to show off for you.
Oh yeah, especially on the Newbro roams. And we also have had many donations to our projects that we use to make sure we can give out some prizes each roam. We have some very special prizes for this Sunday's roam, which will be leaving from Berta at 2000 Eve time.
Fantastic. Question from our resident builder, Tavanis. If you need any more ships? I'm guessing not. So we have a late joining us. Everybody please welcome Spanky Ikala of EVE University. Hello.
Hey folks, how you all doing?
Why don't you give us the 5-minute rundown of what EVE University is and how you can help the Newbros?
Well, I mean, to be honest, listening to the people talking previously, we offer exactly the same kind of facilities that other organisations offer. We've been going for about 12 years. We have daily classes, fleets, and events. So we probably have about 60 events on this month on our calendar, let alone the other events that we have going on. So we'll take in everything from brand new players on day one to players who've been playing for 5 or 6 years in one element of the game, and all of a sudden go, you know what, I don't know anything about mining, I'd like to go and try some mining. So we have a whole load of campuses. So we've got organizations that live in, we have a campus in high sec, one in low sec, one in no sec. We've got a mining campus, a wormhole campus, and basically groups that go and do incursions. So we split off into the smaller groups. If someone wants to focus on low sec piracy, or well, not that we do much piracy, but low sec EVP or null sec living or wormhole living, we'll move them onto the campus and give them the help and the support they need. And as I say, we have classes every day, so everything ranging from, oh my god, what are all these buttons I've never been playing before, to some of the more complicated elements of, well, how do you use stealth bombers in a combined fleet. What else do we have to offer them? Well, we have a fantastic wiki, in which I will just link in Mumble, www.eveuniversity.org, and that has got some amazing resources. And in fact, I don't want to brag looking at some of the other new player corps here, but the eUni wiki is the one that the CCP devs use when they want to chase something up. So yes, we know there's some bits on it that need updated, but it is a fantastic resource. We've got a mentor program, so if somebody's interested in covert ops or mining or something like that, we will find an experienced player and we will get them to mentor that student one-to-one. So as well as the general classes, we also provide that small group and one-to-one support. We provide free skill books, up to about 1 million ISKs worth a day, of free skill books, cheap implants, and we have some fantastically resourced cooperation hangers. So yeah, I think being around for 12 years, we have a lot more resources than some of these other starting organizations. But to be honest, we're not here to make eUni great. We're here to make EVE Online great and help our pupils basically learn the skills and move on. So we work really closely with other organizations. We've worked with Agony, we've worked with Redemption Road, we work with lots of other organizations to run events that everybody can benefit from, because as I say, it's not about making uni great, it's about taking players that don't know an element of the game and passing the knowledge on, so they can then go out and find a corporation that fills their needs and goes on to be a more permanent home for them.
So you are basically a training-specific organization that is a middle step from the tutorial to a further career in EVE. Have I gotten that correctly?
That's a pretty good one. Yeah, we are solely designed to train new players. So we do have an awful lot of experience in it, and we take that experience and pass it on to the brand new players.
So how would one go about joining EVE University as a new player?
Well, first of all, if you contract 3plex to me at Spectre.
Hello? We appear to have lost Spanky Agala there.
Hello? Hello?
There you are.
Yes, I'm back. I've linked the website details in More EVE Chaos. So if you go to eveuniversity.org, you will find all the details there about joining the organisation. And like Danny says, offered to the public, we are not a corporation that is focused on our members. Yes, we do run some members-only events, but all of our classes and the majority of our events are open to everybody in New Eden. Because, as I say, it's about teaching people and passing knowledge on, not about purely making the corporation great.
So most of your stuff is available to the public. You do not have to join to be able to benefit from the work you do.
No, not at all.
Very good. So you have different campuses. How does this work in practice exactly? Say I'm interested in mining. Who do I talk to join a different campus? Or is it something that is you have to apply for different campuses? Is it like different organizations?
Yeah, I mean they're all run by volunteers. It's like all these organisations. Other players give their time up to run them. So prime example, as you say, if you wanted to learn about mining, you'd go onto our Wikipedia, which is accessible through eveuniversity.org, and have a look at the forums, etc., and the wiki about the mining campus. And we say, look, in order to be able to do this, you need to have at least the following base skills. Here's a plan. Give us a shout. Contact this person. We will get you in the mining campus, and then we give them access to the campus, the facilities, and specific forum chat rooms.
Fantastic. Are there any questions for Spanky Akala of Eve University? Apart from Malcolm asking if you teach in-vacuum basket weaving.
Malcolm, if you come along, I'm more than happy to get somebody to run a class on in-vacuum basket weaving for you. In fact, I know exactly the person I'll get to do it.
Fantastic. So is there any limitations on what you do or what sort of thing you will teach about? Is there some places you will not go? Is there some subjects you will not teach?
We don't take part in Sovnol because of the fact that we are a neutral organisation. We don't get involved in sovereignty warfare, although we can go through there and do PvE activities. So we don't get involved in that, but that's not to say we don't have classes in it, and we do cover that in some of our classes. Obviously, because we are mainly looking at newer players, and with the ability to inject multi-millions of skill points into brand new characters now, it's newer players rather than newer characters. We tend to focus on some of the beginning skills in the classes, and then they'll develop further skills within whatever campus they find is appropriate to move on to meet the gameplay that they enjoy.
Fantastic. I think then that we have covered all the panelists speaking here today. Let me first give a big thank you to everybody who has presented a resource today. We all